Okay, let's start. Usha, that's fine. We'll start. I think in the interest of time. Anyway, we are going
Okay.
to take 30-40 minutes. Okay, we'll talk with that. We'll schedule for Amit later. Okay, fine.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'll
Thanks,
just leave.
thanks,
Yeah.
Usha. Thanks, Usha. Yeah, you can drop off.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Sibar.
yeah. So, guys, I think you must have some kind of a conversation with Usha, right? Um, so I'll before I tell you what we do here, how our program might help you, right? So let me take you through the AML line of business, right? And we will try to understand what are the job prospects in this industry, right? And what are the different roles that are in the market? How do we get business in anti-money laundering? And also the career path, right? In the same time, you can also understand what are your interests. We'll also do some career counseling here, right? Right, fine. So my name is Dinesh. So I'm from Vishakhapatnam, right? So I started with Kotak Mahindra, right, and to branch banking, and then I worked with TCS for some time, Hyderabad, and after that I worked with KPMG Bangalore for a while, and currently I'm associated with Infosys Bangalore, right? So what is money laundering, right? So if you ask this question to any layman, right? So, if you ask this question, what is money laundering, to any normal individual who is not a professional anti money laundering specialist, what would be the answer? Akshita or Kader, do you have any understanding of what is money laundering?
Converted illegal money, block money.
Okay, illegal money. What happens to
Block money
illegal money?
like earn from illegal activities like
Okay.
drug human trafficking, drugs,
Okay.
terrorist activities.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So what do
Like
they do? What do you do with the illegal money in money laundering?
they invest in illegal activities, like invest in terrorist activities, like something.
Okay. So a layman answer, right? A general answer to what is money laundering is basically it is the conversion of black money into white money. Right? A simple question. So many times we hear about black money, we hear about converting financial crimes, right? Financial crimes, criminals converting black money into white money. We many times, come across these terms. But what actually is money laundering? Money laundering, it is the process of converting black money into white money. So how can a financial criminal convert black money into white money? Is the question. Let's try to understand. Now, if we are talking about black money, now the question is, what is black money? Right? So, as Kader rightly mentioned, black money is nothing but illegal money. So, for example, today Kader is working with some organization, or let's say Akshita is doing a business. Now, the profit you earn in a business after doing a business, or the salary you get in from an organization, this is white money. Right? So this is the money or the income you are generating by doing a legal profession. That could be a normal legal business or a job. Right? But so what is black money then? So black money is basically any money that you generate by doing illegal activities. Right? So what could be illegal activities? Illegal activities could be anything. It could be corruption, it could be bribery, right? It could be selling drugs. It could be by selling unlicensed arms and ammunition, human trafficking, right? So that is black money. So for black money is a generic term, is a layman term. So black money is technically called as proceeds of crime. What do we call it? We call it as proceeds of crime. So technically in AML, the black money is called as proceeds of crime. So what is proceeds of crime? Proceeds of crime is nothing but any kind of an asset, property, or money that is generated by doing any kind of an illegal activity is called as proceeds of crime. Now let's try to understand what is the context here. What is money laundering? How is money laundering related to banks? How is it important to us and also for the banks? Okay, so to understand this, let's try to do it with a case study. Let's do a case study. Okay, now just you imagine yourself as a government employee. Okay, let's say you are a commissioner of BMC in Bangalore, right? Or you are some big officer. You are a very big government officer in some government office. Now just think and tell me, if you think about any government office, what is the most common crime that you will see there? What is the most common crime that you see in any government office? Sorry, Kader, you're saying something?
Corruption,
Exactly. Corruption, right? Bribe. Taking bribe. Corruption is the most common financial crime that you see in any government office. So let's just imagine you, Akshata, and Kader in that position, right? You are also corrupt officers. Okay. Now, one fine day, you took a bribe from some fellow. Okay. So I came to you for some work, for some job, for some favor, and you did a favor to me. And I paid you bribe. Let's say I gave you a bribe of 15 lakh rupees. Now, when I am giving you this bribe of 15 lakh rupees, so how do I give it to you? Will I do a NEFT? Will I do an RTGC? RTGS? Or will I do a wire transfer? So how do you expect me to pay the money to you?
yes,
In cash, of course, right? In cash. I will not be doing phone pay, Google Pay, NEFT,
yeah,
RTGS, wire transfers, right? So let's say I gave you a bribe of 15 lakh rupees in fresh cash, a bag full of cash, right? Now just imagine, from the moment you receive the cash, from the moment you receive this bribe of 15 lakh rupees till the time you have it in your possession, right? There are two feelings that runs in your mind. There are two integral feelings that runs in your mind and heart. The first feeling is happiness, which is obvious because we are all human beings, right? By default, irrespective of what kind of character we are, right? When you are getting money, proceeds, when you are getting money or asset, we feel happy about it, right? That is the first feeling. Now, apart from being happy, what is that other feeling runs in your mind from the moment you receive this bribe? What is the other feeling?
fear,
Fear, right? So you will not be very happy. You will not be very settled, cool, calm, right? We are approaching the end of the month, right? So we all will be getting salaries on 30th, right? Will you be concerned? Will you have the fear? No, because it is legally earned money. But when you know that you earned some money illegally, obviously there will be some kind of a jittery feeling inside you, right? So with this fear in mind, you cannot stay peaceful, right? So what will you do? See, just imagine you have 15 lakh rupees of cash, right? In the form of cash. Will you be happy keeping that 15 lakh rupees at your home? Will you be very comfortable keeping that 15 lakh rupees in your car and driving over the city? Obviously not. You will not feel that comfortable. So, as a non sophisticated financial criminal, what will you try to do? You will try to convert it into other assets. That is what we do, right? That is what financial criminals do. A part time financial criminal, right? So, those people in government offices who take bribes, they are not everyday financial criminals, they are part time. They are not sophisticated financial criminals. So, what will they do? They will try to convert this cash into other kinds of assets. For example, with that 15 lakh rupees, Kader might prefer or might think to purchase a nice piece of jewelry to his wife. Or Akshata might love to purchase a beautiful car. So what are we doing here? Normally, A non-sophisticated financial criminal will try to convert the asset, will try to convert the cash into other forms of asset. Just imagine, Akshata, you are driving a car, right? And in your car, will you be happy keeping that 15 lakh rupees cash in your car, or just by using that 15 lakh rupees to purchase a nice piece of jewelry and wearing on it? Which one do you think is much more comfortable for you? Cash or jewelry?
Buying jewelry.
Buying jewelry,
Jewelry.
definitely. Yeah, why? Because it does not raise any suspicion. Right. So normally people, part-time financial criminals, they tend to convert this black money into other forms of assets. But let's say I'm not like you. I'm a full-time financial criminal. Let's say I'm a drug dealer in Hyderabad or Bangalore. What is the point for me? There will be no point for me to convert this cash, black money, into other kinds of assets. So what will I do? Because if I convert that money, black money, into other form of assets, I won't be able to do it. Because I am a full-time financial criminal. I'm a sophisticated financial criminal. I want the black money. I want the money in the form of money, not in other form of asset. So what will I do? I will prefer to convert this black money into white money. Remember, if you are buying a car, if you are buying a piece of jewelry, that is not white. Remember, that is not white. That is still black. Right. So now just imagine, let's say you have that 15 lakh rupees. You don't want to purchase any jewelry. You don't want to purchase any jewelry. You want to convert that black money into white money. What will you do? How can you convert it? Can you think of any ideas?
Invest in shares.
Okay, that is one good way of doing it. So Kader says he will invest in shares. So invest in shares, what will you do? Will you take that cash, go to stock market and buy it? Can you directly give cash and buy it?
No, multiple accounts.
So first you will
Some,
try to put it in the bank account, right?
yes, yes.
So remember your positions. Kader and Akshita, you are in big position in some government office. So you will have a lot of influence in the market, in the city. So you will call your banker. So Akshita will call her bank, SBI. Let's say she's banking with SBI. So that fellow will say, yes, madam, please bring the cash. We will help you deposit the cash. So Akshata and Kader, they will take the money and go to the bank to deposit the cash. And now remember, when you are trying to deposit this black money, 15 lakh rupees of cash, which is being unaccounted for, into your bank accounts at a branch, what is the legal obligation for the bank? What do you think the bank should ask you?
They will ask source.
Yes, exactly. The bank should ask for the source. Okay, madam, fine. We will take your deposit, 15 lakhs. But madam, can you please tell me what is the source of this 15 lakh rupees? Right? So will you be able to produce any, genuine documents as source? No, because this is black money. Right? So it is the legal obligation, it is the responsibility of the bank to question you, to verify the source of this 15 lakh rupees. And remember, and when the banks fail to do this obligation, and when the banks fail to do this job, that is when the problem comes into picture. Remember, why are we doing this job? Why are we dealing with AML, anti-money laundering domain? Because most of the banks around us, right, they do not follow their obligation. They do not follow their rules. So when a bank does not follow its obligations, it will have certain kind of impact. So the impact will come in three forms. The first form is through regulatory penalties, fines. Many times you see, right, Punjab National Bank has been fined 2 crore rupees by RBI. Or let's say HSBC has been fined by the regulator. How much? $2 million. So, fines. The first punishment is fines. And now the good thing with fines is it is very easy to pay off the fine. for any big bank, large bank like HDFC, SBI, Punjab National Bank, or any international bank, paying a fine is not a big deal. They'll just write a check. It's done. But the second punishment comes in the form of legal actions, regulatory actions. And the most important action would be a threat of losing the bank license. So, if the banks do not follow their obligations, apart from paying fines, they may also lose their license to do the banking activity, business. That is second risk. The third risk is the most important for banks. Remember, the most important risk for any bank is loss of reputation. Just imagine tomorrow morning, let's say you have a lot of money in Punjab National Bank. So all your life savings, you are retired and all your life savings are in Punjab National Bank, and you will see the news in the newspaper that Punjab National Bank has been associated with some kind of a large fraud or financial crime. Don't you be concerned? You will be concerned, right? So you will lose trust. So especially for financial institutions, trust is very important, right? Reputation is very important. So these are the three main threats. So what is the problem statement? Problem statement is very simple. Banks and financial institutions, non-banking financial institutions, when they do not follow their obligation, when they do not follow the regulator properly, when they do not follow the guidance, when they do not follow the rules, it leads to penalties, loss of license, and loss of reputation. Now, to save from these things, what will the bank do? The bank will implement an AML program in the back-end operations. So every bank, it will have an AML operations team in the back-end, right? So now, these banks, we are talking about which banks? We are talking about large international banks. So tomorrow, if you are getting into global AML compliance, you will be working with large international banks, right? Like JP Morgan, Barclays, TD Bank, or HSBC, right? Large international banks. And now these banks, right, will have to implement an AML program, AML operations in the back end. And to implement the AML operations in the back end in a country like US, UK, Canada is very, very costly. So now the question is, how do we get business in India? How do we get business? So these banks approach the third parties like TCS, Infosys, KPMG, Deloitte, and that is how you get projects. Right? So in AML operations, there are two important job roles. One is KYC and the second one is transaction monitoring. Right? So currently, if you look at the market, these are not my figures, these are the market figures. The AML industry is growing at 17% CAGR. And by 2028, it is expected to be doubled. Right? So the market is good. Why is this market good? Because if you think about black money, every year, trillions of dollars of black money gets generated across the globe. And the trajectory is always going up. The black money will always go up. If you look at the graph, right? Now, this is the market. The market is good. But now the question is, if the market is good, will I be able to survive in this industry? That is the most important question. Okay, so that is the most important question which you need to question yourself. See, always remember, your job prospects or your career prospects are not dependent on how market is doing. The job prospects, your career is dependent on how you are doing with your career, what you are doing with your career. Market will always evolve. Remember, market will always evolve. Now, as per the evolution of the domain or the market, we are also expected to evolve. But the problem is many people do not evolve. They stay where they are. That is the problem. Right? Fine. So, market is not our problem. What is our problem? Fine. Talking about the job roles in the AML industry, I told you we have two main job roles, right? And whatever you see here on the screen, compliance officer, fraud analyst, transaction monitoring, KYC, AML consultant, all these are just names, right? Whatever may be the name, there are only two roles in the market. One is KYC and the second one is transaction monitoring. So if you think about both these roles, most of the roles in the market, most of the job roles in the market will be around KYC. So almost 60 to 70% of the jobs will be around KYC, and 30 to 40% will be around your transaction monitoring, right? If you think about the job market. Any questions till now? Okay, fine. Now, the next question is, what is KYC? क्या है? What is KYC? Very simple, right? Now, know your customer. This is what we know. If you go to Aadhaar center, they will do KYC. If you go to a bank, they will do KYC. If you apply for anything, they will do KYC. So KYC itself is a very generic term. Now, for a lay person, for a layman, an outsider, KYC might look like, okay, KYC is not about what? Taking documents. They'll take my Aadhaar card, passport, or driving license. That's it. But remember, KYC is more than that. When it comes to financial institutions, banks, if you think about KYC, KYC is not about what? Taking documentation from the customer. It is much more than that. Right? So what is KYC? Know your customer. But why should you know your customer? Why should we know our customer? For example, let's say I met you somewhere in a park in Bangalore. Okay? And we see each other and we smile and we shake our hands and we exchange some piece of information, some information. Okay, let's say I met Kader and Kader says, "My name is Kader. I'm working in Deutsche Bank, and I'm living in this particular location in Bangalore." That is what he says. And then I'll also say, "My name is Dinesh. I'm living in ECC Bangalore," and all this information. So what are we doing? We are exchanging information, right? Now, do you think this relationship between me and Kader, which we have established in a park, does it require KYC for any of the parties? Does this relationship require KYC? Or does it require KYC? Do you think Kader will ask me, Dinesh, okay, show me your passport? Do you think Kader will ask me to show my passport? Guys, are you able to follow? Two friends, two people met in a park, right? And we exchange certain pieces of information. Now, in this relationship, do you think a KYC is required? Guys, can you hear me? Akshat? Kader?
Sir.
Do you require a KYC? Is
Yeah.
it a
Hello,
serious
can you hear me?
relationship? Yeah, I can hear you. Is it a serious relationship? You don't want to talk? Okay. So this relationship does not require any KYC because it has no serious implications. So I met Kader or Kader met Dinesh in a park. What's big deal? We'll exchange information, we'll go home. There are no stakes involved in it between Dinesh and Kader. But let's say Kader wants to join my program. Kader wants to join some course that I have been selling. Or Kader wants to do business with me. Or I want to do business with Rahul or Akshata. So that is when the relationship requires a KYC. Right? So whenever there is a business relationship, so even in personal relationships, for example, let's say you have a sister and you are looking for a boy for your sister. So will you marry anyone? No, right? So you will definitely do a background check because the relationship is very important for their lives. Similarly, for business relationships, when you are getting involved into any kind of a business relationship or a professional relationship, a KYC is required. Understanding your customer, Understanding the people with whom you are doing business is important. I am telling you that my name is Dinesh. But do you really know my name? Who knows? So how do you verify this information? Unless you ask, okay, Dinesh, you are saying that your name is Dinesh, but I'm not sure if you are really Dinesh. Right? So what will you ask? You will ask me, Dinesh, show me your passport. So, okay, Kader, see, this is my passport. My name is Dinesh. Right? So you are verifying the information, verifying the identity. Okay, Dinesh, you said you are working with Infosys. Show me your ID card. You said you are living in this particular location. Show me your address proof. Right? So you verify the information. That is part of your KYC. Now, apart from verifying the identity of your customer in KYC, we also try to understand the risk associated with this relationship. Right? For example, tomorrow, if you think, okay, this is a very great deal and it's a very good demo, and let's say, okay, fine, I'll join the program. That is not how it works, right? What if tomorrow I take all your money and I'll run away? That could be a possibility. The second thing is you need to do a risk assessment. You need to understand the risk associated with this relationship. If I do business with this fellow, will there be any risk to me? So that is something the bank also do with their customers. The banks will not only identify and verify, they will also try to understand the risk that is associated with the customer. Right? So that is your KYC. What is KYC? KYC is not about, just doing identity verification or address verification, but also to understand the risk that is associated with this customer. Right? That's your KYC. Now, if you think about the career prospects in this line of business, career prospects. So what are the career prospects in this line of industry? Okay, let's try to understand. So guys, when it comes to KYC or transaction monitoring roles, these are part of your AML. Now remember, AML is just one of the financial crime domains out there in the market. Okay. So there are different types of financial crime domains out there in the market. So tomorrow you might have this question, okay, Dinesh, okay, tomorrow I'll get into KYC. What will happen to my career? So forever, is it going to be good? No, of course not. Right? If you join in AML or if you join a KYC role, it's just a stepping stone. That is not the end of your career. You cannot think that, okay, till my death, I'll be in AML, I'll be in KYC, my life is settled. No, there is no such domain today in today's world, unless if you have that kind of a mindset, corporate job is not good for you. You better try into some kind of a public sector job where everything will always be the same. Why? Because the domain always evolves. Today, we are talking about AML because the market is good. We have so many opportunities in the market, which is why we are talking about AML. But maybe after 5 years or 10 years, things might evolve. There might be so much automation in this line of business. And maybe at that point of time, you may have to look at some other things. So you should have that plan today. Remember, if you want to get into AML industry, maybe after 5 years or 10 years, you might have to think about some other financial crime domain. I'm not talking about any other domain. So when it comes to your financial crime, so when it comes to your AML is just a stepping stone for you. Once you get into this industry, once you understand how financial crime works, you should also get to know what are the other domains in this business, in the financial crime. So in financial crime, apart from AML, you have fraud investigations, terrorist financing, asset recovery, right? Corruption investigations. There are so many other domains. Depending upon your requirement, depending upon where you live, you need to choose a specific domain. So remember, the answer is very simple. Can I survive for the rest of my life if I join AML? No, nobody can survive because things will keep on evolving all the time. You should also evolve with time. Maybe after 5 years, look for something else in this domain. So you should think about financial crime, not about the job role. The job role you are doing is a KYC analyst or maybe a transaction monitoring analyst. But You should always think about financial crime. Okay, agar if something happens to AML, what will be my next course of action? Okay, I will go into fraud, or I will go into sanctions, or I will go into terrorist financing. So that is the approach I want you guys to carry forward. Not only in this domain, guys, not only in this domain, any domain. Tomorrow you might leave this, you might become a business analyst. Even there, things will keep on evolving. Right? So that should be the attitude that you should be carrying forward. And what is the career path, career growth, or path for this line of business? Fine. So the first thing is gain some experience in AML KYC. Right? So once you get into the KYC or AML transaction monitoring, at least stay there for minimum 1 year or 2 years. And remember, when you are joining any organization, please do not leave. You might not like the organization, but never leave the organization within 1 year. If you are a fresher, please do not leave the organization at least for 18 months, 3 quarters. Because if you leave any organization within 6 months, in the next job, they'll be asking you, why did you leave the job in just 6 months? So the first thing is stay in the line. Stay at least for 1 or 2 years. Understand the industry, right? Understand how things are going up. So try to learn the KYC processes, at least for US, UK, and Canada. Understand the regulatory process, understand the processes. Try to learn. Now, once after 1 or 2 years, you should think about a global certification, not any local certification. You should think of any global certification. So what are the global certifications in AML? Sorry, in financial crime, there are 3 global certifications. One is ACFCS, CFE, and ACAMS. Okay, we will talk about all these 3. Right now, many times, many students ask me this question, Dinesh, what kind of certification should I choose? They'll ask me a very vague question, Dinesh, if I do ACAMS, will my salary gets doubled? If I do CFE, will I get a better opportunity? Now remember, why are we doing certifications? Certification is an indication that you are passionate towards a specific domain. Certification is not for salary, boss. Always remember this. It's a very wrong notion that you carry if you think about your salary in relation to your certification. Why are you doing a certification? Because you are passionate in that industry and you want to learn more about it. So how do you choose a certification? The choice of your certification must be dependent upon your personal and professional goals. Remember, at this age, so you must be what, in your early 20s, right? So let's say if I think about Akshita, she must be some 24, 25, or Khader might be 27, 28. So you are starting your careers, right? So if you are in that phase, at this phase, you will mostly think about professional goals, right? You will think about job, salary, and all that stuff. You will not think about personal goals. But when you reach your 35 years of age, when you reach that 35 mark, then you will think about your personal goals. But by then, you must have crossed a lot of time. So remember, when you're planning your career, please keep a balance between both your professional and personal goals. So what are personal goals? What do you mean by personal goals? For example, let's say today Akshita might be very happy working in a city like Bangalore, but maybe at the age of 35, she wants to take care of her old age parents. Or Kader does not want to live in a city. He wants to go to some two-tier city. Maybe he wants to work from his hometown. So these are the personal goals you need to keep in your mind when you are, working through your career. Right. So the choice of your certification, must be in line with your professional and personal goals. So guys, I think they have set it up for 40 minutes. Can we quickly drop and rejoin? Akshat and Kader, can you quickly drop and rejoin the same link?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
Okay.